Check, check, check. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. This video is going to be slightly different, but yet a video I think that needs to be done because I've never quite explained the process of how it gets from me or from BWTM Sports to you, the viewer. And first and foremost, I've got to say thank you to those people from around the world that continue to watch the content of BWTM, BWTM Sports, BWTM News, BWTM Gaming. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. I'm one person, and whilst I may be the person that does the interviews, or you may hear me do interviews, there's a lot more to it than that. And so I'm thankful for the people that are behind BWTM that give me the opportunity to do what I do. I'm most thankful, most grateful, and also thankful to the guests that are a part of the channel. So now there's lots to talk about, and it came to my attention today via Twitter that there are some people who, and you can't blame them, they're not really clued up as to how the process works. For those of you who are YouTube uploaders, you know the process. Some of you have got help, others haven't. So I'm going to take you through the process so you have a better idea of what happens. So then when you can understand it, you can appreciate the process more. So let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. For example, you go to a press conference, any press conference, big fight press conference. So you'll go, whatever time it is you leave in the morning, you get to that press conference with your gear. Maybe it's yourself, you're going with another person, maybe you by yourself. Let's just say you're a one-man band, for example, and you go, you turn to the press conference. You're going to make sure you can get yourself in a position that you can film your video, make sure you're in a position to, set yourself up, make sure your lighting's right, make sure your sound's right, make sure you got your memory card, get all those things that you're set up. You've got that sorted, you're in position, you do recording. Once you've done that recording, then you've got to ensure, then you're at the press conference, you want to get interviewed, so you've got to stand in line and wait for that person to interview. Depending on how important that person or how well that person is, you could be standing around waiting for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You could have been waiting for an hour and a half. While that's going on, there may be people that are better known than your own brand in maybe whatever sport you're in. There may be people that've got bigger brands than yourself that do get favoritism, so they can go at the front of the line. If you're smart, you get to the front of the line, but nevertheless you get there. Then you're limited for how long you've got to interview that person or those people, so you do get interviewed. Once your interview has been done and complete, then depending on if you've got Wi-Fi, then you may try and chop it up and edit it there and get the interview out as soon as possible so that people get to see your video first. But while you're getting that video edited, now you've got to edit the video. Sometimes the Wi-Fi is not good, so you try and find a hotel. If you don't get a hotel, you're going to go back to your house. You get back to your house. So now you've got a certain amount of time you've got before you upload that video. So during that time of uploading, so you get the video, take it off your hard drive, you stick it onto. I'm just talking to this process for people who don't understand the process. Take the stuff off your hard drive, the memory card, off your camera, into your laptop, then upload the video, get loads of video. If you're using, like, for example, Windows Media, Movie Maker, I don't know what equipment you use, I'm giving an example. Windows Movie Maker, get the video in there, get your start to your video, put the video the particular interview you're going to upload, get it in there, edit it, put all the the names, the titles, whatever you're going to put in. Once you've done that, then you put in your ending, then you put it through the filter or the edit, the grinder, the machine, the same to make sure it's all edited and ready. You get that. Once that's uploaded, that can take anything between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Once that's done, then it's ready to go onto YouTube. So then you upload it to YouTube. Depending on how long it takes for you to upload to YouTube, that could take another 45 minutes to an hour. So you think about that whole process, go through that whole process, and then that's just for one video. Imagine you have to upload 5 videos, 10 videos, 15 videos, 20 videos one night, and you have to go through that whole process. See, that is a tiresome process, and you do that over and over again. So that's why I give these people who are in the trade, that are uploaders and you know, out there on the field, and they don't have a big team and they're not working for a big network. Because, you know, people, you know, for example, Box Nation or Sky Sports, there's people who've got loads of money. They've got a cameraman, they've got this person, they've got that person doing editing and stuff. They've got the expensive equipment. They can get the things done a lot quicker. Smaller setup, there are a lot more things that need done, and there's only one person or 1 or 2 people doing it, and they're not getting paid for doing it as well. Things get a little more difficult, you know, and you want to get the stuff out there to compete with the big boys as well. So there's all other things you have to consider. And on top of that as well, once the video's up there, then you've got the hassle of having to tag your videos to ensure that your videos are seen by the world. So there's a lot of things that have to be done. You tag the video, and then once you've got the video and it's out there, then you have to share the video among all the people you've got in your, through Twitter, through Facebook, through Instagram, wherever it is, to let people say, hey, here's my video. And then you do that for every single video you do. Okay, so that's the process that I'm talking to you about, and that's a process that I think people really don't really consider or think about. And now I've explained that process, you know, another thing people think, these are assumptions within the sport of boxing, that, you know, you get interviews, we get exclusive interviews, and it's great. Now, the process of getting an interview, okay, so you have a fan that may say, or supporter, or a long-term member may say, look, hey, I really like you to talk to that person. So, okay, so you set up to talk to that person. So you go, so you have to go, not the fan, not the supporter, not the follower, unless the follower or the fan or the supporter actually has a direct contact with that boxer, that personality, that person. You have to go out of your way to get that personality. So you've got to find your ways and use your ways or ways to get an interview. And it might not always be you can get to that person straight away. You may have to go through somebody else that you may have interviewed in the past to get to that person. So you get to them, you get that interview. It's not an easy process. Sometimes, you know, you have interviews with people. I can name a few fighters, for example, that have been on our previous channel, and Bayloric, and we may have interviewed them when they started their careers, but, you know, they become bigger. And some people are not like everyone. Some people are quite happy to, other people can become Billy Big Bollocks. And when you become like a Billy Big Bollocks, then you feel that you don't need to talk to those small times anymore. The same people that you'd ring up to get an interview with, or do an interview and break your nuts to get an interview, now they don't matter, because you're Billy Bollocks. You know, you're big time now, so you don't need to do interviews. And there are other people who just don't like doing interviews. They just don't like talking to the media. So it's not always as simple as, can you get an interview? Why don't you get an interview? And there's some people who've got no manners whatsoever. You can send them an email, or you can send them you know, you can email them, you can tweet them, and they've got such bad manners. Some people in the sport, not just boxing, some people in sport or in media entertainment have got such bad manners and such terrible PR that you can send a message to them, they'll just ignore you. And it's not because they've got hundreds and hundreds of fans, it's because they look down on certain people, right? So that's just the way it works. That's just real talk and telling you as it is. Okay, I'm not lying. If you talk to anybody who really does lots of uploads and lots of interviews, unless they've got access, when I talk about access, I mean access where they're working directly with a promoter. So people who work directly with a promoter, it's very difficult for them to be rejected, because of course the promoter's paying for their bills, paying for them to come over and fight, to pay for them. So it's very difficult for them to say, nah, I don't want to do an interview with you. Even if I don't like you, I've got to do an interview with you, because hey, you're paying my way, you're paying for me to come to the UK, or you're paying for me to go to America. It's very difficult then to avoid people out. So when people are connected to promoters, or they're working with promoters and managers, it's a lot easier to get interviews with those fighters. So because Joe Bloggs does it, or Joe Bloggs' company does it, and they do it well, you can't expect everyone to do that. But it seems to be like everybody can do that. So when, you know, you do get exclusives from these channels that are not connected to promoters, hey, they're doing really good. And I'm all for, great content and exclusive interviews and news and podcasts. There's so many podcasts and boxing around the world today. So much information and content. Get behind these people and support them. Don't be knocking them and every 5 seconds asking them for interviews. Sometimes they can't deliver that interview for you. Sometimes they just can't. They may not be able to do what you want them to do. But appreciate the content that does come out. And finally, and I have to say this, that some people want one guest on the show every single week. That's not going to happen. Not on our channel. It's not going to happen because there's so many other guests. There are people that have been waiting, and believe me, there are people that contacted and said, will you do that interview for us? I said, yeah, okay, fine. And you may have a schedule 5 or 6 people that you're going to interview, and then you've got 5 or 6 people you might want to schedule to interview during that week. Okay, picture that. And then you've got breaking news all the time coming through. A fighter will call you and say, hey, look, I've got some information you hear. Or you may see something and say, hey, that don't look quite right. Let me ask that person about the information. So the people you may have an interview set up with, you've got to put them to one side and say, look, I'm sorry about it. Can I fit you in some other time? So you're juggling all the time. And of course, this is all part and parcel of what goes on. So it's never a case of, it's very easy to just click on a channel and watch a video, and when it's finished and you've got your fix and you've had your laugh at the interview or that person, or you've got your information you need from that particular fighter or that manager or that promoter or that you've got your fix. Once that's done and that video's done, you've seen that video, you move on to the next video. It's quicker for you to move on to the next video than it is for the uploader to upload a video. And so there are uploaders around the world. I say thank you for the work that you're doing, particularly those who've got video cameras and are uploading video content. I have the utmost respect for you. Keep on doing what you're doing. It is very hard and very difficult. Just be positive in all that you do and keep going. Good evening. You should interview Don Charles. His interviews are pretty good with you. Yeah, I should interview a lot of people as well, but whether I'm going to get to interview the game, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Groves versus Eubank? We'll talk about it in a specific show coming up with the manager of Jamie Cox. I think it's best that we break down Cox versus Groves, break that down, and have the manager on the show, which we'll have sometime this week. We'll do that, and I can reveal my thoughts on Groves versus Eubank. I will say, well done, George Groves. Did a lot better than I expected him to do. And as for Jamie Cox, I will say that I always talk about being defensively irresponsible and lack of concentration, and that's what you get. Is definitely I was talking about being defensively irresponsible. It's okay to be throwing punches at people, but when somebody starts to throw punches back at you, that's when you step it up in class. And Jamie Cox forgot that somebody could hit him back. And in world-class boxing, you make one mistake and your lights can be put out, whether it be to the chin or to the body. And he got taken out quite brutally, one shot by George Groves. IL says, Ingram stream, yes, I need to hear your weekend review. I will do a weekend review. I said I'm going to do that with the manager, Jamie Cox. I think it's best to do that, particularly what's happening and what's been happening over the weekend. And he predicted Cameron would beat Sam Sheedy, so I'd like to know why he thought that as well. So it'd be great to break that down. Mr. 011, hey, I've got to give you a massive shout out. You said something to me on my Twitter channel and your Twitter page, and you said to me that you hadn't listened, you'd been watching our channel for over the last 5 years. In fact, you've been watching us before when I first took off, first started the channel and beat Bayloric. And I want to say thank you to you, because that means so much. You never know who's listening or how long they've been listening. So I really appreciate the fact that you came out and you said kind of who you were and how long you've been listening to the channel. I met one of our, one of the people that listen to our channel a lot, and they could tell me things that I completely forgot about on our channel. So I want to say thank you to those people out there that are supportive of such yourself, and the people that listen in all the time. Really appreciate that. Carlos Takam is a Pulev replacement. Okay, good luck. Bunce is rude. I've met Bunce a few times. Depends where you catch Bunce, I think. Yes, Cox trainer said Groves was straight up and down fighter. LOL. Well, he did say that, and I have to say that, I mean, Cox was doing a good job until he got landed. That body shot was landed. He took Groves' best shots to the chin, and he got nailed with a fantastic shot that would have folded most super middleweights, to be honest. You should interview Alan Smith / Mouth. Well, I've interviewed him before. Cox was just too small. Why? Cox took Groves' best shots. It was quite good. Needed to get over the early storm. He wasn't small, just at world level. I didn't think he was small at all. I didn't think he was small. I mean, Groves is like a light heavyweight, come cruiserweight, come fight night. So I think Cox proved he could take a great shot to the chin. He got nailed with a shot to the body that would have doubled any super middleweight in the world. It's not about Cox that night. It's a matter of it was the perfect. George Groves may never throw that shot ever again in his career. He threw that shot there, which was a beautiful shot. It's perfect. It's a perfect shot. I mean, Roy Jones threw a shot, something like that, when he knocked out Virgil Hill. Those shots, when they hit you there's a certain point of the body they hit you, that no matter who you are in the world, you can't put muscles in that part of the body. And even if you do, it doesn't make a difference that you're going to get doubled over. So I don't begrudge Cox for getting knocked over the way he did. That was a terrific shot by George Groves. Whether George Groves is back, well, we'll discuss that in depth later. No problems, mate. Thank you. I'm very well, Mr. Slick. I'm going to be safe, I'm sure. AJ. Ayos says, I listen to all the podcasts, but you give a unique opinion. We come here for you, not the interviews, and your numbers will grow because of that. Thank you very much, Ayo. I'm trying to have less to say myself and have more people of what they've got to say. Eubank said Cox could have got up if he really wanted to. Well, he can say what he wants, but if he got nailed with that shot to the body, I'd be interested to see whether he would have got up from that. What's happened to Stavern Ward? I heard Stavern hasn't signed the contract yet. That's not true. I saw an advertisement for Showtime a few days ago. In fact, I saw Showtime interviewing Stavern in the studios for the rematch. The fight is on. Believe me, it's on. There's no, don't listen to that rubbish. The fight is on. If Groves loses, he will lost another big fight. I agree. If Eubank loses, he will lost to Billy Joe Saunders and George Groves. Failure at top level, indeed. So we'll have to wait and see. I will wait again. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I really want Jamie Cox's manager to get in and talk about it. So again, I just want to clear up any misunderstandings. That I think it was 12 hours straight of uploading videos without sleep. These are the things that people don't know about. Are you interviewing against Stavern again soon? Classic stuff. I think we'll wait until closer to the fight to get that. The person I want to get back on the channel ASAP are two people. First of all, I want to interview the trainer of the year, in my opinion, and I said he was going to be trainer of the year, Derek James. Of course, Charlo had that fantastic one-round knockout over Lubin, and I was really impressed with that. But I've said before that I think Derek James is the trainer of the year, and I think he stamps that. Robert stamps that with Robert Brandt, who fights in Germany. He fights in Germany shortly against Jürgen Bremer. So I'm looking forward to have Rob Brandt back on the channel just before he fights against Jürgen Bremer, a fight which I think he can win and win by knockout and win spectacularly. So I'm looking forward to that interview. Yes, we'll talk to Stavern. I'm looking to get Jesse Benavides on the channel. We're working on that at the moment. Not Jesse, David Benavides, the new champion. We're trying to talk to him. We're also looking to talk to Evander Holyfield, the real deal, to get him on the channel as well. So there's lots of stuff we're trying to bring to the channel. We have the new Commonwealth champion, Liam Cameron. We'll definitely want to get to talk to him a bit more. The former champion, Sam Sheedy, we'll look to talk to him, and all the Dennis Hobson and all the other stuff, and trying to bring some new people onto the channel as well. So there's lots to do. And of course, it's a sports channel, not just a boxing channel. So, I want to bring some other sports people on as well. We haven't talked to some good people. to bring on to the channel as well, who are highly connected within the world of sports. So yeah, Derek James will be back on the channel very, very shortly. Once we get a good connection. Ireland, as you know, is going through a bit of a bad time at the moment. So once it's done, we'll get that sorted. Yes, those who watched the Sheedy fight, it was a fantastic fight. It was one of the fights of the year, and I'm proud in terms of BWTM sports that we had exclusive footage. The pre-fight, we were there to build a fight from the start right up to fight night, and I thought we had some really good insight on both fighters. We built the story well for both fighters, and of course we had the fight itself. So I thought that was really good, and I think you all got the opportunity to really get to know two fighters, and I'm looking forward to doing that a lot more in the near future with some other plans to do that. That's the plan. You've got to have a story so people want to buy into and watch that guy who's fighting. Why? Oh, I'm a boxer. Come watch me fight. Why do I want to watch you fight? Why do I want to pay my hard-earned money to watch you fight? But if I heard a few interviews, I could hear your story. Like when I saw Liam Cameron, and if you listen to the interview I did with Liam Cameron, I knew when I saw Liam Cameron at the press conference and I looked into his eyes, I said, the last time I saw eyes like that was when Carl Froch was about to fight George Groves in the rematch. And I looked at Carl dead in the eye and I said, hey, there's something this guy's got there. And I saw and that night, Carl Froch did the business against George Groves and Liam Cameron did the business against Sam Sheedy. He was too big, too strong, too hungry, just too much. And poor Sam, he did the best he could. What heart! Tremendous heart. It was a, it's kind of funny. When I saw Liam Cameron, he reminded me of Sam Eggington, just the way Eggington walks forward and lands heavy bombs on you. I'd love to see those two guys fight, but they're completely two different weight categories. I think Eggington's a welterweight, and Sam and Cameron's more or less a super middleweight, boiled down to middleweight. He's going to be dangerous in the middleweight division, Liam Cameron. Very, very dangerous. Gunja says, brilliant channel, Ingram. It's one of the best in the world. Rather tune in here than ITV, LOL. Sam Sheedy was great. Better than next gen card. It was. Cameron versus Warren's Midland fighter. Now who knows? I think Cameron versus I don't want to see Cameron versus Brian Rose at all. I don't want to see that fight. Not at all. We're going to get Carson Jones back on the show as well. Let's see how he's doing since Mexico and that dodgy decision. Yeah. Can I take this opportunity to point out 19-year-old lad sadly passed away in Warsaw after visiting boxing events? Yes, of course, I heard about it. Actually, I was invited to watch Cox versus Groves, and sadly, I didn't turn up, and kind of glad I didn't after seeing all the writing at Wembley. It's disgusting stuff. What is going on? Where was the security? Why did this whole thing happen? It was very, very sad to hear, and I heard it really touched my heart. So commiserations and my prayers are out to the family of that young boy who sadly passed away due to the events at the boxing. It's very sad. These are dark times. We can't afford this stuff to be happening in boxing. You got security there. They're all quick to stop you on the door. Where was the security in that way? It really mattered, and it got out of control. It's sad state of affairs. You've got people turning up at boxing events or press conferences with guns and shooting people, and whatever next. When you saw the parachuter coming into ring with Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, I thought I'd seen it all then. Then there was Herbie Hyde and Audley Harrison, and tables flying on an Audley Harrison event. I saw that. I saw also and what's his name? The guy from Leeds. I could see now. The Leeds fight. He's unbeaten. Josh Warrington. I've seen almost Neil Wright's kick off there in Leeds. So, do you think Lubin was playing overrated, or was he just caught cold? Well, listen, coming into the fight, a lot of people thought Lubin was going to beat Charlo. You have to say that Derek James on current form is one of the best trainers in the world. That is one of the best gyms. I don't care what anybody tells me. That is one of the best trainers in the world. And I've been saying that Derek James has been a great trainer for a while now. Been saying it. I think the proof is in the pudding. It's good to see that Spence is coming back. He's going to fight Errol Spence is going to fight Lamont Peterson, another fighter I rate very highly. So Wayne Lovett says there's I think Lubin, there's violence at boxing cards throughout the country. Nearly every card, thugs are involved going to cards. I fear the promoters will do nothing to ensure for better security. Well, I think what you do, you've got to start these people that are kicking off. They need to be video cameraed, and then once their faces are seen, they need to be I think they need to be barred from boxing events. Simple as. Derek James was very underrated. He is. Lubin needs more fights. I think so. Spence will end Lamont's career. I don't know. I think Lamont Peterson's a very good fighter. Very underrated. Very underrated. I think he's going to give Spence a good run for his money. He just better not get hit with them body shots. I agree. When his interviews on here, my respect for him went high sky. Yeah. Well, you know that there's banter between him and Abel Sanchez. You know, I think there's a bit of a, call it bad blood, but there's a bit of uneasiness between the two of them. And of course, you know how I love Abel and how I love Derek James. Who knows? Maybe one day we get Derek and Abel on the same channel together on the same evening. That would be fireworks, would it not? I'm sure Derek would love that. So yeah, White Hellenia's thoughts. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much Hellenius has got left, to be honest. I don't know what sort of shape Robert Hellenius is in. I just don't know. I don't know. I'd rather see White for Mansour. Mansour's available. Why doesn't Mansour fight Anthony Joshua? That'd be a great fight to have. Did Derek say Spencer stop GGG? He did say that, yeah. So that started a bit of a problem there. So yeah. Right, I said this was going to be a short video. So mainly the video was about the interview to upload process. I hope that I haven't offended anybody by talking about the interview to upload process. And you think about that interview to upload process, particularly the process like now. If I have an interview now, let's say it's a bit different if you do an interview live. The live interviews are different because they're basically up on YouTube already. Then you get some smart asses that come on and says, well, you should interview that video, mate. You should edit this, you should edit that. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Are you going to edit it for me? I didn't think you would. Oh, well, make the content better, mate. Listen, you can have nice, sparkly content, and people want to hear and see. As long as they can hear what's going on, they can see what's going on and be informed. At this point in time, I'm not Box Nation, I'm not Sky, I'm not these things. I'm not saying that should lack for quality. But what I am saying is, when there's so much going on, you know, the workload it's a hell of a lot. It's a hell of a lot. So people are not quite aware of that. So like I said, there's some people want me to interview people, certain guests every week. It's not going to happen. I have to remind certain people that this is the BWTM sports channel, not the Stavern channel, or basically back then it was the Fury channel, or it was somebody else. And I have to take this moment to say many thanks to 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. I'm going to say a big thank you first of all to Peter Fury. It was great to meet you again, Peter. It was an absolute honor to meet you again and talk with you. Great man. Glenn McCrory. I remember watching Glenn McCrory as a young boy, going to, I don't know, to primary school, secondary school, watching Glenn McCrory fight against Patrick Lumumba for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World. And I was a big fan of Glenn McCrory. I also saw him when he fought Lennox Lewis, and he was totally mismatched when he fought Lennox Lewis. I remember when Glenn McCrory came to the end of his career, and then listening to him for many years on Sky Sports. It was an absolute honor to spend an evening in the company of Glenn McCrory. Not many people get to do that, and it was an absolute honor to spend the evening with Glenn McCrory. Fabulous man, and I look forward to doing some work with him in the future. So as well, you know, channel gets a lot of flack, whether it be, oh, you do a lot of Fury interviews, or you do Stavern interviews, or you do this interview. Well, I do them because we've got the access to these people. So if I don't do the interviews, then I don't know, your channel hasn't got enough people on the channel. You interview the people on the channel. Oh well, you're kissing people's ass. You know, some people you can never please them. So what we do, we try to do the best that we can so most people can get to hear what happens. So it's great to listen to the Furies. It's great to talk to the firm. We've even spoken to Wilder as well. It's great to talk to people on the channel, and I am so grateful for those people. Shout out to Dennis Hobson as well, and what he's trying to do with the free sports. Shout out to him, done some great work there. The fighters that put on a great card, Ian Cameron, new champion, Sam Sheedy, Watt Hart, and the rest of the guys on the bill. John Fuchs, that's the first time I met him, and what a character, talking old school boxing. Conor Malpaz, he's going to be turning pro, 18 years old, what a talent for the future. So that's going to be interesting as well. Yeah, it's we do what we can. No, you know, you can't compete with certain people. No one be trying to compete with other channels. We're just trying to be individuals and do what we do. So okay, this is the best access for one of the best British trainers, Peter Free. His predictions on fights are on point. He does have. No bullshit trainers affiliated to match and scared to speak their minds. Yeah, well, that's one thing. Joshua versus Pulev, Carlos Takam replacement just in. Well, where did they pull Carlos Takam from? What was Carlos Takam doing? Was he on the beach? This is the thing I don't get. Sometimes I wonder, yeah, if these fights. Do you remember Pulev said he didn't have enough time to prepare? Do you remember when he said that? I remember him distinctly saying, "I'm not having time to prepare for the fight." Then suddenly he's got time to prepare for the fight. Now he's pulled out. So was Carlos Takam in the wings waiting or not? Where was Carlos Takam's last fight? Yeah, I mean, for example, I would be interested to see. It would have been interesting to see. He's mandatory. He's number 3 mandatory. What about Luis Ortiz? What about Luis Ortiz? Isn't he a mandatory? Oh no, he's been banned. No, he's not been banned for the IBF. Why couldn't Luis Ortiz not fight for the IBF? They digged him out of the coffin like they did Michael Grant. And Merman Saul's ready to go. And Merman Saul is ready to go. But anyway, as he's already in camp, he's on the same card. Yeah. So why don't you take Joshua versus Wyatt or Joshua versus Hellenius? Why not that? Joshua versus Hellenius. I don't know. I don't know what to think. Ortiz is a drug cheat. We can't defend him anymore. I know, but people were bigging up him. This surely cannot be a pay-per-view now. No, they'll still set as pay-per-view. And what are my thoughts on Tommy Frank? I think Tommy Frank's a very talented fighter. I think Tommy Frank's got, you know, he's a promoter's dream. Tommy Frank. He speaks well. He's articulate. He's a humble young guy. There's no airs or grace about Tommy Frank. He's what I call a people's champion. If you want to talk about a people's champion, Tommy Frank is that people's champion. He's just, you know, I see Tommy Frank. You just want to cuddle him. He's just got such class, so settled, lovely girlfriend, lovely family man, dedicated, focused to the sport. I mean, he doesn't joke, doesn't mess around, ain't out on the clubs partying up or snorting coke or you know, when in his leisure time. The guy is a serious dude. In bed by 8 o'clock in the evening. Tommy Frank is what when you talk about consummate pros, Tommy Frank is a consummate pro. He is just straight as an arrow, and I love Tommy Frank. So that's what I can tell you about Tommy Frank. Takam recently said he's training and staying ready. Well, so is Amir Mansour. He's training and staying ready. AJ versus Prince Patel would be pay-per-view. You need to look at the IBF rankings. Oh well, like that meant anything. Who have you got? Joshua versus White 2 in 3 weeks. I couldn't tell you really. I wasn't a fan of Joshua White the first time round. AJ versus Khan. AJ's got no chance against Khan. He's too quick. Very funny. What's your thoughts on Andrade? I'm a big Andrade fan. He's the dark horse for me. I rate him very highly. He'd be a good interview, especially what he thinks of Charlos, who's been chasing the fight. I love Andrade. He's one of those fighters I love. Trying to make contact with him. We should have some new content, some new people, new guys coming through the channel shortly. So stay tuned. Yo, Ingram, hope you're good. I'm good. Good to see you, Prolific Genius. Always good to see you. Does Dennis promote Tommy Frank? Well, that was a weird one. I think it's AJ that promotes him, but I don't know. I think he does. I think AJ. It might be AJ, Dennis's brother, that promotes Tommy Frank. I don't know. I don't know how that works out, but soon enough. Just finally, before I disappear, because this wasn't meant to be a long one, just want to hear your thoughts on the coverage over the last of the weekend. It was also good to hear what you guys have got to guys and girls think of the coverage. Yeah, I met some other people on the weekend as well, which I was really fortunate to meet, and I'm really thankful to have met them. Some very, very, very good people. People who I didn't know, but they knew me as soon as they saw me, so it was great. I even bumped into Asif Valley as well, believe it or not. May as well throw Rio in with AJ and be done with it. Esther wants to settle the score as well, justice for his wife. Oh, dear. Oh dear, yes. So yeah, as I said, I will try and get interviews and do the interviews on channel when I can. I can't guarantee you, I certainly can't guarantee to interview somebody on a weekly basis unless it's exclusive. For example, I'll interview somebody on a weekly basis if it's exclusive and I'm following up information, a fight, a pre-fight, a post-fight. Fine, I'll do that, but I can't have the same guest on every week, because whilst one or two people may like that guest, a lot of people might not like that guest. So you have to mix and match. So it is what it is. So I hope I've explained the process, and I hope I've kind of made myself kind of clearer, and it's not sour grapes or bust ups or anything like that. And this sort of idea that people just click their fingers and then an interview must happen, this sort of demand. People say to me, oh, you know, you're great at doing interviews, that's why I want to hear more interviews and more content. That's great, that's fine, I appreciate that, but it's difficult at times, you know. It's not as easy as I want to interview, get that interview now. I mean, I'm trying to make it easier. I am. But anyway, that's it. I've said my bit. I hope you've enjoyed the videos. I hope you've enjoyed the fights and the interviews and the pre-fights. And it was great to talk to, finally, Jerome Wilson. Great to see him making a great recovery. You know, often when guys get injured in sport boxing, promoters, managers turn a blind eye to that guy that's been injured. They're all up in the fighter, all interested in fighter, as long as the fighter is genuine money for them. As soon as the fighter gets injured, is no longer of use, you move on to the next body. It's a very sad thing in boxing, and very few people are actually caring after that point. Thank you very much. You've got to change your channel, Captain Bullshit, because it's quite contradictory. You called Captain Bullshit, and then you say great channel, Ingram. I don't know whether to believe you or not. Up the RA. Yes, great to hear from Jerome Wilson. All right, so yeah, I don't know yet. I'm looking forward to see some major changes in 2018. People making big moves and power moves. That's what I said. I said in 2017. I said in 2017 that people would get exposed in 2017. I said in 2018, and I'm saying 2018. I think 2018 is the year of the power moves. 2018. Don't change it. Live interviews were where we can type our question into you is a brilliant system. Yeah, it is. I'm very, very skeptical about doing live shows with phone-ins because I've seen them go well and I've seen them go horribly wrong. Why do you rate Peterson, Ingram? His best win was when he cheated, admitted, against Khan. No, he wasn't. I thought he beat Danny Garcia. Come on. I thought he beat Danny Garcia and beat him well. I thought he had boxed Danny Garcia before Kurt Thurman did what he did. So, great coverage. Thanks. Much appreciated. So that's why I rate Peterson. I think he's a very good fighter. I think you know, when I look at a boxer, I don't look at the record and losses sometimes. I look at what a guy can do. Can he box on the outside? Yes. Can he box up close? Yes. Can he move from side to side? Yes. Can he counterpunch? Yes. Can he slug? Yes. Can he knock guys out? Yes. Peterson is the complete package. And he's not getting the big hype and build up that other fighters do that are less talented than Peterson. Now, for me, I think Peterson is a far more talented fighter than Golovkin. But I think Golovkin's got obviously bigger punch power and a better chin. Hence why he hasn't been knocked out. And yeah, there you go. Matisse destroyed him. Matisse destroyed a lot of fighters. Are you trying to now knock Matisse? Matisse destroyed a lot of fighters. That's beside the point. That's an irrelevant argument because Matisse was one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world at one point. At that point, he was knocking everybody out. So Matisse is not an easy man to beat. Ingram, can I ask your thoughts on the whole way boxing's going? Before I did this, I will talk about the way I think boxing's going. I think that I think when you've got more players at the table, then things will balance themselves out. When there's more competition on the table and you haven't got a monopoly of one guy running everything, then Sky themselves are going to have to up their game because you can't keep having such biased and terrible. It's like an old gentleman's club you've got there. Well, it's not an old gentleman's club, but it's very biased. You know, your brother's commentating on your brother, your best mate. You know, the yes men, and you know, Sky's team is reflective of their management. So I think it's a Garcia schooled him. Garcia schooled who? Garcia schooled Peterson, mate. You need to go back and watch the boxing. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to go back and watch when Garcia fought Peterson. Garcia got beat by Peterson. You go back and watch the video, mate. And there's a lot of poor matchmaking. I agree. Just to make a quick buck. I mean, I can't believe fans watch Crawler versus Burns and didn't think there was going to rematch him. Two guys cashing it in. That's all it is. And milking it. Garcia schooled Matisse. Okay, and Garcia was pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. He was the man at light welterweight, if I remember rightly. He was the man, and he beat the man to be the man. He beat Amir Khan, who was the unified champion, to become champion. Danny Garcia. Yes, and up to this point, Danny Garcia hasn't been knocked out by anybody, including Lucas Matisse and Keith Thurman. So, what is your point? You're talking about elite fighters. You're talking about elite fighters. I mean, that nonsense don't make sense. Ali got beat by Fraser. Did that make Ali still not the greatest? Okay, Ali got beat by Leon Spinks, who had 8 fights. That's not. What is your point? I just said very good fighter. I'm not talking about if you want to talk records, don't come on this channel talk to me about unbeaten records. Because if you want to talk about records are for DJs. If you want to talk boxing, we'll talk boxing and styles and science. Let's talk that. But if you want to talk about records and, well, this guy got beat by that guy, therefore he's not good, that don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry. I think that Peterson is a world-class operator. He's a world-class operator. And because he got starched by Lucas Matisse, who at the time, I would like to point out to you about Lucas Matisse when he got sparked. I'm sure Lucas Matisse was popping something when he was doing that. Do you remember Lucas Matisse when he was, I can't remember what fight he was in, that they went back to the dressing room before he went out to fight, and he popping some pill before he went to fight. He literally popping a pill before he fought. So, do you give Peterson a pass for cheating against Khan? Listen, here's my point here. Are you suggesting that the PEDs gave Peterson the ability to box Khan? I don't care how much PDs you got in the system. If you can't box, you can't box. PEDs don't teach you how to throw a jab. PEDs don't teach you how to slip a punch. PEDs don't teach you how to use good footwork. PEDs don't do those things. PEDs may make you stronger. PEDs may make you more durable, but they don't teach you how to box. I tell you what you do. Take some PEDs and get in the ring and go down your local gym, top yourself up with some PEDs and go down your local gym, and I wish you your local boxing gym and get in the ring, and I wish you all the very best. With no boxing trainer, get in the ring and fight a top level boxer, and I wish you all the best. So on Hearn's pay-per-view card, we have Takam that comes in to fight Joshua in a few weeks' notice. Dillian White opponent comes in a few weeks' notice. Advantage match from fighters, and it's pay-per-view. Well, yeah, sorry about that, Wayne, for getting off track. I think that the way boxing is going, and I'm going over time here. The way boxing is going, I feel there will be a lot of power moves in 2018. I think that we've got to watch very careful Al Heyman and what's going with him. Because when all these fighters was talking about, I'd like to thank Al Heyman for all the money that he's been paying me, I'd like to thank Al Heyman. The reason why all these people were able to pay Al Heyman, the reason why Al Heyman was able to pay the money is because he got money from other people. Other companies gave Al Heyman the money, and he invested that money into all these fighters. So all these fighters were getting paid way over the amount that they should have been getting paid. Now what's happened is the money's run out. So if the money's run out now, I'm not saying Al Heyman's money's run out. I'm saying the people that invested money in Al Heyman and those fighters has now run out on the PBC thing. So all these fighters you're talking about now, I'm not going to get paid the same amount of money as Al Heyman was paying. So, I think that we have to watch Al Heyman and see whether fighters from Al Heyman are going to come to the UK. We've seen Danny Jacobs come to Eddie Hearn. Are we going to see more fighters move across the waters and get promoted by maybe a Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn? Are we going to see any more fighters move over to Dennis Hobson? How is that going to work? Fights between Frampton and because we know now Twitter is the place where people seem to negotiate lots of fights. So that's the thing. The Matchroom situation or Sky Sports. Listen, when you've got that sort of that much power, and you've got that sort of relationship, I think you can do what you can and twist and turn. Was Pulev ever going to fight Joshua? That's the question you really got to ask yourselves, because Pulev said himself he wasn't ready to fight Joshua. He wouldn't be ready. So now then he says he's ready to fight. Now he pulls out. So was he ever going to fight Joshua, or was he just paid money to just say he was going to fight, pull out of an injury, and Takam was training? I don't know. How long was Takam training for? I don't know. I'm suggesting the PDs gave Peterson the strength to bomb rush Khan the way he did. Khan's boxing ability. Khan can't fight on the inside anyway. Any way you look at it, any which way, yes, he may have been stronger, but Khan cannot box on the inside, which is why I said Peterson can box from the outside. He can fight from the inside. Inside, he's got great insight. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. Behind a jab, he can counter punch. So I'm saying Peterson is a good all-round fighter. I like him. There's not anything he does spectacularly, but he does everything very well. That's why I rate Peterson. Regardless of his losses, regardless of what happened with Khan, he beat Danny Garcia, in my opinion. He got starched by Lucas Matisse. By that time, Lucas Matisse was starching a lot of people anyway. So, and then Lucas Matisse was one of the best fighters. He was considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So to get starched by one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, fine. But then he got starched by Peterson got starched by Matisse, but then Garcia beat Matisse. But then I thought Peterson beat Garcia. So what does that mean? Not a lot, really. They're all top class fighters. Eddie's taking the piss. Takam pay-per-view, and everyone's gonna buy this shit. Yeah, they will. Not everybody. What needs to happen is boxing fans need to stop being so damn gullible. Boxing fans need to stop do so much ass kissing and start to listen a bit more and pick shit from truth. They need to see nonsense and see, listen, this ain't worth me paying for. I'm not paying for the damn fight. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. But no, there's a lot of people who worship Eddie. They worship him to the fact like he's a god, and anything Eddie says is correct. So good luck to him. Good luck to them. But you know, some people wake up. There's a cult, and some people follow that cult. I'm not part of it. Hurley's very good at giving all his fighters advantage. That's why Ricky Hatton wouldn't have Lucas Brown fight White at short notice. That makes enough sense. Takam got schooled by Joey Parker. Yeah, he probably did. I didn't watch the fight. Spence, I heard 3.5 million for Peterson fight, possibly. All 3 fights in 2018. I think Thurman said the same thing. If Khan can't fight on the inside, how did he drop Maidana and Judo with body shots thrown from close range? Okay. Khan cannot fight at close range. Judah and Maidana. Did you watch the 10th round of when Maidana got inside of Khan? Watch where Khan's been knocked out, how he's been knocked out. Khan doesn't get knocked out from long range. Mid to close distance is where he's been knocked out. Okay. So I don't think Khan can fight. He needs to go back and watch Lamont Peterson fight again, please. Stop arguing with me. Go back and watch Lamont Peterson fight again. As soon as Khan puts pressure on Khan can't fight with his back against ropes. As soon as people put pressure Khan on the back foot under pressure, he ties and holds them up. Go back and look at the fight again. I remember the fight well. Khan can fight on the outside with his blistering hand speed. After 3-4 rounds, he slows down, and that's where fighters come onto him. That's what the history of him in the past has been. These heavyweights don't want to face each other. Pull out all the time, says Michael C. No, I can't knock what you're saying there, Michael. Absolutely true. So yeah, listen, I haven't got the energy tonight to debate. All I said was Lamont Peterson's a very good fighter. You take it or you leave it. I'm not asking you to accept it or don't accept it. I'm not here to defend my thought or my process. I told you I think Lamont Peterson's a good fighter. I've explained Lamont Peterson's a good fighter, and we'll leave it as that. Khan is not an inside fighter. He fights out on the outside, puts combination in the pocket, and then he comes out again. Thank you very much. Khan's problem is he doesn't know when to attack and when to defend. That's why he's been knocked out the way he's been knocked out. He doesn't know when to come in and go out, and that's when he gets knocked out. No way is Takam fighting Joshua now. Just when Hearn sold the tickets and people's hotels are booked. Yes, that's the good deal, isn't it? So, sell it for Pulev. Wait until Pulev is until the tickets are sold, and then Pulev says, "Look, I told you I didn't have time for the fight," and then pulls out, and then Takam comes in. Nice. The sooner the heavyweight Khan has improved. No, Khan has not improved because he got knocked out. Khan hasn't improved. Khan has not improved as a fighter. In fact, I think he's regressed as a fighter. So I'm not impressed with Khan. Sorry, I'm not impressed with Khan. You're entitled to your opinion, but I think Khan is one of the most overrated fighters in world boxing today. Very overrated. He's got very low boxing IQ. If Khan had a brain and speed, he'd be dangerous. He'd be frightening. But he makes the same mistakes over and over and over again. So, you know, doesn't know when to throw punches and when not to throw punches. Doesn't know how to use his jab and throw his punches effectively. Wastes a lot of punches catching arms and gloves. Can't fight backing up. Doesn't know what to do when a guy's on his chest. These are all the things that Khan does. But this is not an American video. Anyway, moving on. In the Peterson fight, remember Khan was fighting the cheat. So was he fighting the cheat when he got knocked out by Garcia? Was he fighting the cheat when he got chinned by Prescott? Was he fighting the cheat when he got knocked out by Canelo? I think you go back and look at those fights. There's a similar pattern as to why he's been knocked out. Go back and look at those fights. Oh, why are we glorifying cheats all of a sudden? Mate, I don't know what your problem is tonight, but I said Lamont Peterson is a good fighter. PEDs don't make a guy a good fighter. A guy is a good fighter. All they do is performance enhanced drugs. PEDs, performance enhancement. Do you know what that means? That means that your performance is enhanced. If you can't perform anyway, it can't be enhanced. If you can't box, then the PEDs don't make a difference. It so happens that I think Peterson is a world-class fighter, and that's the end of it. Take it or leave it. That's not glorifying PD. That's not glorifying PEDs, right? PEDs do not win fights. And if you want to know, and if you want to put your logic to the test, like I said, go pop some PEDs and go down to local gym and go do some boxing and see what happens to you. Just go down the gym, take your PEDs and go down the local gym. Go pump a few weights, take your PEDs and go down the gym and see what happens to you. Nobody's glorifying. And you're also saying about glorifying cheats. Wait, hold on. At what point did I say PEDs is good? I didn't talk about that. I said Lamont Peterson is a good fighter. End of conversation. Thank you, Wayne Lovett. PEDs do not win fights. And if PEDs put muscles on people's chins, Amir Khan would be the undefeated, undisputed champion of the world. Simple as. So that's that. I don't know. I don't know what the angle is tonight, but I'm going to end right here because I haven't got energy for it, and it's pointless. So unless somebody's got a point to make, Wayne Lovett was making a fantastic point about talking a subject about the way boxing is going. So I think there'll be some power moves in 2018. I think we need to look and see what's going on with Al Heyman. I said this before. Grain M. PD should be allowed for everyone to make it a 11 play field. I've said this before. I said that to Bashir. He thought it was not good. That's what I think. That's the only thing I'll say about PDs, and that's it. I don't want to hear no more about PDs on the channel. Not interested in it. Amir Khan's not as good as you think he is, mate. I know you are definitely a Khan fan, but Khan has lost since then. And do you remember the Julio Diaz fight? Do I have to remind you about the Julio Diaz fight as well? Adam Smith on Sky just said this pullout reminds him of when Vitali stepped in against Lennox. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lennox Lewis didn't even train for when he fought Kirk Johnson. That's the truth. And one day, very soon, I'm going to get somebody on the chat. In fact, that's encouraged me now to go and get the interview to talk about the sort of state Lennox was in before he fought Kirk Johnson. Lennox hardly trained for the Kirk Johnson fight. And then he stepped into fight Vitaly Klitschko. That's why Lewis looked in such terrible shape when he fought Vitaly Klitschko. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's no lies. That's the truth. Lennox did not train for the fight against Kirk Johnson. He thought he was going to blow Kirk Johnson away in a couple of rounds. Didn't do any training for the fight. That's why Lennox looked in such appalling shape. And then he went on and fought a guy called Vitaly Klitschko, as we know, who could be considered one of the best heavyweights of all time. So forget Adam Smith. So Adam Smith thinks that Carlos Takam is suddenly going to be. But listen, Carlos Takam brings another challenge. If Carlos Takam Julio Diaz got wiped out in 3 rounds by Keith Thurman. Don't go there with Julio Diaz. Please don't go to Julio. Don't go to Julio Diaz. In fact, we covered that fight. We talked to Keith Thurman before the fight and after the fight about Julio Diaz. Julio Diaz, what, took 2 rounds or 3 rounds? Thurman made him retire on his stall. Don't go there with Julio Diaz. Yeah, so Carlos Takam brings a totally different proposition to Pulev. In fact, I think Carlos Takam is a better fight than Pulev, because Carlos Takam can punch a bit. He's strong as an ox. and he can fight on the inside. And if he can get past Joshua's jab and he can get on the inside, Carlos Takam could cause a few problems there. I'm not saying Takam will beat Joshua, but I think Carlos Takam is a better fighter than Pulev. Because let's be honest, when you look at Pulev, when I think Pulev, I think fencing. Fence behind the mask. That's what I think of Pulev and his jab. Fencing. That's it. Beyond the jab, I didn't know what Pulev had to offer. But I think Takam offers a lot more in terms of strength, physical strength, bull-like. Will come marching forward. You know, I'm not saying Takam beats Joshua. Could be a bit far-fetched, but if he can get on the inside, or Joshua can get past the jab and he can get on the inside, we may have some interesting moments. I like Carlos Takam. I like the fight. Takam will wallop Joshua a few times. Well, yeah, that's what we want to see. We want to see a guy who's going to give it a go, and Takam will give it a go. I like Carlos Takam. Can't see Takam being ready, even if he knew he was on standby. If Pulev pulled out, well, I can see Takam being good enough. I mean, I think he's better than Pulev. I think he's better than Pulev. If you ask me my opinion, I think he's better than Pulev. I'm quite happy. I think he's better than Pulev, but I didn't think Pulev was pay-per-view. And I don't think Takam's pay-per-view. But I think Takam's a better opponent than Pulev, with that being said. So, you know, I wouldn't mind watching Carlos Takam fight Dillian White. I wouldn't mind watching that. I'd love Carlos Takam, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Robert Helenius. Big, tall, strong, powerful, can punch Helenius a bit, got a good jab. I don't know. But it is what it is. You think Takam beats Pulev then? I don't see what I don't see no reason why he can't beat Pulev. Pulev's record's better than Takam, don't you think? Again, remember I said earlier, Michael, are we talking records? If you're talking records, then go get a DJ. You know, guys like Takam, the way their style is rough and ready. They're durable, they're strong, they come to fight. They get on the inside to make things messy. You know, Takam, when you talk about records, you don't take into consideration a person's fortitude, their heart, their guts, what they're prepared to put on the line to win a world title. And Takam, to me, if you're going to put between Takam's heart and Pulev's heart, I'm going to put Takam every time. Do you know what I mean? If Takam, man, if you ask me if I could face between two guys, between Takam and Pulev, I'll fight Pulev every time. Because Pulev, you'll get a break with Pulev. You'll throw a couple of jabs. Pulev will move around and look at you and put a few jabs out and give you time to breathe and get your jab and get yourself lined up to throw a right hand. This guy Takam's going to be on like a harper shark, as Bruno would say. He's going to be right on you, rough and ready. And when a guy's rough and ready, he's roughing you up and he's come to fight. It's a different proposition because then you've got to do everything a lot quicker. You now got to pick up that jab faster. You're going to pick up that right hand faster. You got to now get uppercuts ready. It's a different fight. Now he's going to have a guy attack him who's going to be able to get under the jab, slip on the inside, and cause a whole lot of different problems. Technically, you know, with jab, the pace is a different fight. Pulev brings a fight where he's going to jab, he'll look at you, he'll flick a couple of jabs out, move around the ring, Joshua follow him around the ring, Joshua throws a few jabs, Takam throws a few jabs, Pulev throws a few jabs, Joshua throws him a straight right hand and a left hook. You can see that happening. You know, the right hand left hook combination is going to find Pulev at some point. Now the Takam is a totally different situation because Joshua can't just go in there throwing a right hand and a left hook. He'll be gone like Molina and Martin within 3. Takam, okay, mate, if you say so. Pulev, maybe. Takam, I don't think so. I don't think so. Unless Takam's in really bad shape and he's not, and he's come for. If he's come just for the money, then fine. Anybody will get dropped over in 3 rounds if they're coming for the money. If Takam comes with fighting heart and he's coming to win, Takam's a very dangerous hombre, very dangerous man because of the style he's got. Don't look at records, look at styles. Records don't win fights. Styles win fights. Yeah, AJ may win the fight. Records don't win fights. Records don't win fights. Records make a great night for a disco or or a bashment night or a hip hop night or an award ceremony or a wedding. Records are great, but it's style and technique is what we're talking here. And when we talk about Pulev and we talk about Carlos Takam, you've got a guy who's going to be on the back foot, and you've got a guy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, stop looking for all the things. When you look at a boxing bout, do you just look at the boxing record and say he got beat by that guy? Why was the guy? Why did he get beat by that guy? Why did he get beat by that guy? Did he get beat by? But didn't also drew Mike Perez? Okay, right. Okay, so he drew Mike Perez. Mike Perez couldn't knock him out, and Mike Perez has knocked a few guys out. So I don't like the way. Why do boxing fans always? Why do boxing fans? And there's a lot of them. They won't look for what the guy does well. They look for all the things the guy does bad. Jeez, you're not even giving the guy a chance. God, I can't talk boxing with half you guys. I mean, half you guys that talk boxing, I couldn't sit in a room with you because you pull out you pick up garbage. It's like, oh, this fight's been announced with this guy. All right, well, let's put holes in him then. Instead of saying, what does the guy do well? What does the guy do well? Okay, we've not got Pulev, then we've got Takam. You could pick holes in every single fighter in the world, but what are you? Are you men or are you women? If you're men, let's talk boxing and let's talk about what Takam does well. What Takam? Let's talk about technique. Don't talk to me about records. I'm not interested in records, and I'm not interested in BoxRec. BoxRec does not teach you anything about a person's technique. Doesn't teach you about a person's heart, their guts, their wills, they're willing to fight, their intentions, whether they'll fall down at the first punch they'll take. We know that Takam's been in there with Joseph Parker. Yeah, he got beat by Joseph Parker. A lot of people thought that Takam gave Parker the fight of his life. I'm not hearing people talk about that stuff. Talk to me about technique. Talk to me about break a fight down. Talk to me about how the stars contrast from Takam to Pulev. Talk to me about the science of boxing. I don't want to hear about records. If you want to talk about records, give a call to BoxRec or talk to somebody else. Let's talk about what guys do well and how they can possibly win a fight. Okay? If you bring Deontay Wilder, well, he's chinny. He's got skinny legs and he ain't fought nobody. Okay. If you bring Tyson Fury, you'll say, oh, well, Tyson Fury, he's inactive. He ain't fought for 7 years. Okay. So who are you going to bring as? Oh, you bring any fight. I can talk about any fight in the world and people will pick holes of it. Pointless conversation. Thank you. Now, Takam has a good knockout record. Sorry to bring up records again now. So he's probably got a punch chance, but let's face it, Joshua's going to probably blast him away in the first few rounds. Well, I'm not gonna jump on that. You can blast the guy if Takam stays on the outside of Joshua's jab and right hand, then yeah, he deserves to get knocked out. But if Takam can slip and get on the inside, then he doesn't blast him away in a couple of rounds. Why? Because Joshua cannot fight off the back foot. If you learn anything from the Klitschko fight, you'll know Joshua cannot fight backing up. Joshua can fight going forward. He can't fight backing up. And if Takam can get Joshua's back against ropes, he's got a great chance of winning. Great chance of winning. Because if he can reduce... Has anybody seen Joshua fight on the inside? Has anyone seen Joshua's back against the ropes? But you're all talking about how Joshua, you're all talking about one way. If Joshua goes out and throws some punches, he'll knock the guy over. Yeah, of course. If boxing was that simple, then Tyson should have dealt with Buster Douglas. If boxing was that simple, then Gennady Golovkin should have blown away Canelo. It's not as simple as that, and I think that sort of caveman like he's just gonna go out there and throw some punches and you'll knock him out. Yeah, that might happen at certain levels, but when you've got a guy like I think Takam, if he can get on the inside of Joshua, it makes it a different fight. Because when you're on the out, at the end of blows, they're more powerful than when you're up close and short. Is Takam a better win than Brazil, Molina? They're different fighters. Brazil, tall, long, White, shorter, unknown quantity. We still don't know how good Dillian White is. Even though he got beat by Joshua, we still don't know how good Dillian White is. Melina, I think the Hellenius fight will give us a bit more of an indication of how good Dillian White is. Melina, we knew it. Well, White already sparked him, and Charles Martin. Again, we didn't know how good Charles Martin was, and Joshua got him a right hand. So I don't know. So you've mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters. The 4 fighters there. Brazil, we know a little bit more now. But I mean, Mansour was giving him hell for leather as well. So I don't know. So Takam bowls forward like a souped up Sean Porter. He could give Joshua problems. It's those you've got to look at Guy Styles, and when you break out, I'm going on way too long now. When you look at Guy Styles, you've got to look at, okay, what sort of style is going to give Joshua problems? What sort of style doesn't give Joshua problems? And I know you all forget about the first couple of rounds against Vladimir Klitschko, where Joshua did not much when he was on the back foot. If Takam could be his second best win after Vlad, so we really can't complain. That's what I'm saying. If he beats Takam, you know, and for all these people who are like, oh, Joshua will do this and Joshua will do that and Joshua will do this, well, hey, I have to take you back to them. You know, you guys are sold on Joshua in a way that is, I'm not saying he's not a good fighter, but there's a bit of fantasy going on here about Anthony Joshua. You know, I think you're listening too much to Sky and watching too much of these TV programs, and certainly watching too much of these advertisements. Joshua is a man, he's a good fighter, but he did go life and death with a guy who had been basically more or less retired for 2 years. Life and death, I have to remind you. And I have to remind you, that was a guy who's 2 years, according to some, past his sell-by date when Tyson Fury fought him. So if he was past the sell-by date when Tyson Fury sort of fought him, how much more past the sell-by date was he when Joshua fought him? Plus, he'd been inactive. So some of you guys don't make sense, and you're contradictory, so you don't make sense. Right. Your boxing assessment is a bit basic. Go and watch the fight. I told him to that anyway. Styles make fights. Foreman smashed Fraser, but Smoker Joe gave Ali some of the tough fights. Thank you, prolific genius. Styles make fights. And do you understand what that means? Styles make fights. Now, what's his name? I just said it earlier on. Lucas Matisse blitzed Peterson. Lucas Matisse got beat by Danny Garcia. But Peterson beat Danny Garcia, in my opinion. So, hey, what's all that about? Takam 6'1", AJ 6'6". Is he big enough? Forget the big enough crap. Forget that stuff. Forget that big stuff. It's not if you're big, it's if you're good enough. Forget big. Forget big. What happened to Evander Holyfield? Michael Moorer? Huh? David Hay? How many cruiserweights moved up to heavyweight and became heavyweight champions? Have we forgot? When you talk about big enough, are you talking about, forget about Rocky Marciano? Love to talk about Rocky Marciano. Huh? Ali, Fraser, those weren't big heavyweights. Tyson, Mike Tyson, 5'10", 5'11", Mike Tyson. What are you talking about? About size? Tyson was 5'11". Tony Tucker was 6'5", 230, 240, 250-pound heavyweight. What are you talking about? Size? It's not about size. It's about effectiveness with the skill that you've got. What the hell are you talking about size? Please don't talk that crap to me about size. Size doesn't matter. Look, can I take you back to the amateurs with Anthony Joshua? The guy that stopped him wasn't as big as Anthony Joshua. Stopped him, didn't he? What? Dillian White, 6'2". What? Or 6'3". What are you guys going on about? I don't get it. They were champions, though. What the hell are you talking about? So what? They were champions, though. So hold on, that fight somebody to become champion. Go and look at the history, mate. Mate, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor, mate. Go and watch Mike Tyson's fights and watch the heights of the guys that he fought. Go and watch Evander Holyfield. Go watch Michael Moorer. Go watch Michael Moorer versus Mike the Giant White. That's a good fight. Go and watch Michael Moorer versus Mike the Giant White. Mike the Giant White was 7 foot tall, heavyweight. Michael Moorer was no more than 6 foot or 6'1". Chris Bird beat Vitaly Klitschko. Do I need to continue? David Tua, 5'10", 5'11". One of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world. When he can't get as part, AJ jab will matter. What are you talking about? AJ jab, oh my God. Proper fanboys in the room tonight. I can't talk boxing, you guys, honestly. I just can't. I don't know what. Are you suggesting that AJ's got a better jab than Lennox Lewis? Are you suggesting that AJ's got a better jab than Larry Holmes? Are you suggesting that AJ's got a better jab than Muhammad Ali? Lennox Lewis fought Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer was 6'2". Lennox Lewis was 6'5", 6'6". Ray Mercer comes forward, got a good chin, come forward fighter. Ray Mercer got his side on Lennox Lewis. It's common knowledge that Vitaly broke his heart and during the Bird fight. It's common knowledge that Chris Bird is not a heavyweight. That's common knowledge. It's common knowledge that Chris Bird was able to last many rounds with Vitaly Klitschko and still get the win. That's what common knowledge is. He beat Vitaly Klitschko. That's common knowledge. It doesn't say, it does. All it says is, if you go back to your box rec, Vitaly Klitschko retired. Bird won the world title. Doesn't talk about his height and his reach. He won the fight, and that's my point. So it's common knowledge also that Chris Bird was not a heavyweight, and that's my point. There's so many guys who are under the 6 foot that were heavyweight champion of the world and were not big heavyweights. Certainly in recent times, we've got these mountainous heavyweights. So I don't know what people are talking about size. I don't know how you can say size on one hand and then mention Mike Tyson in another breath. What, is Mike Tyson 6'5"? Absolute garbage. That's like absolute garbage. Some of you guys need to spend some. AJ's a better fighter than all. Oh my God. I'm gone. Thank you all so much. Have a good evening. This has been BWTM Sports. I'm out. Have a good evening.